Hi guys, welcome to my channel. Today's video is going to be another video about the whole Nikocado Avocado situation with Stephanie Sue. At first I wanted to wait to make my initial video about this whole situation because I was waiting for Nick's response that I'm going to talk about in this video, but because of Nick's prolonged response, I didn't think that he would respond at all, to be quite honest. So when this video came out, I was like, okay, I guess I have to make a video about this because I do want to present both sides and also kind of just present my whole opinion, kind of knowing both sides of the situation. But before I do get into this video, please go ahead and give it a big thumbs up. Go ahead and comment down below what you think. I don't necessarily know if you should take a side in this. I don't know. You should just probably watch both videos before you really do formulate an opinion, but go ahead and comment down below what you think of what I have to say in this video, and please do subscribe to my channel, and yeah, let's just go ahead and get right into this video. So, as many of you do know, Stephanie Sue, who is a mukbanger, made a video about Nikocado Avocado, talking about why she's scared of him, and that video blew up. It got millions of views, and pretty much Nikocado Avocado delayed his response and decided to respond after the holidays, which is what he said in his video. I decided to watch that hour and 30-minute video. Goodness gracious, that was horrific. I had to speed up the time because I was like, I can't just watch this forever. It was just a lot. And so I sped it up and I wrote down some notes. I even took notes, like I'm trying to be professional. I took notes, and I'm just going to go ahead and go through what he said and kind of dissect what he said. And also, I feel like there were a lot of things that I realized about the situation, and I kind of have formulated who I really truly believe and what also I believe from each person, because I do feel like each person left things out. I do believe that each person kind of tried to manipulate the situation to make themselves look better. That's human nature. And yeah, that's what I think about both of them, just as a preface for the rest of this video. But let's just go ahead and get into what Nick actually said in his video. So, the first thing that I want to note is that Nikocado Avocado starts off the video by saying that he doesn't want it to be a hate video. He doesn't want people to send hate to Stephanie Sue. However, I feel like throughout the course of the video, he was very aggressive in what he said, and I feel like he wasn't as defensive as he was offensive in certain ways. He included a lot of things that I don't feel like he should have included, and in my opinion, it came off as more of a hate video than maybe he intended it to be, or maybe he said that it was going to be in the beginning of the video. Next, he was talking about the house thing, and he was talking about how Stephanie, when he came into her house, she instantly gave him a tour. I don't understand how that is going to prove that him taking pictures in her home is not weird. Just because someone gives you a tour of their house doesn't mean that you go off and take pictures of their house. Like, that's not something that's like a thing. Like, I can imagine in my mind Kim Kardashian. I know that she's not on the level of Kim Kardashian, but to me, it's kind of the same concept in a sense. Kim Kardashian, you get invited to her house. She shows you around. That doesn't mean take pictures all over her house. Like, that doesn't give you the right to take pictures all over her house. He also then showed a picture of, like, her in the house and was saying she knew that I was taking pictures in her house. Number one, he showed that picture and she's obviously posing, but that was a picture of the video setup. So I don't really know how that proves necessarily that he wasn't taking pictures without her consent. And then the other pictures that he showed didn't have her in them. So I don't feel like those were consensual pictures. Do you get what I'm saying? Like, I don't feel like she gave him permission to take those pictures. And also, I think that it's weird that she would bring that up and then make it seem like he's predatorial if she knew about it. I don't feel like someone who is lying would create a lie like that. That's just my opinion. I don't feel like she would create a lie that insane of like, he's taking pictures in my house. I think that she really was paranoid about the fact that he was taking pictures in her house. And also, like I said before, it doesn't prove that you had permission. Like, the pictures that he showed didn't necessarily prove that he had permission to take pictures in her house. Also, I kind of view the whole picture thing in general, even if it wasn't to be creepy, even if it was just, I like your decor in your house, so I'm going to take pictures of it, whatever. I mean, whatever. Honestly, in my opinion, if you're going to take pictures of someone's house, I think it's just common sense to ask them for permission. So I honestly kind of do believe that he didn't have permission to take pictures in her house. And so I think it's kind of weird that you would just like take pictures without asking somebody. And then the thing that bothered me the most was that it was done while she was in the bathroom. Like, when someone's in the bathroom and then you start taking pictures of their house, that's what makes it seem predatorial. That's what makes it seem weird. Like, it's not the fact that you did it in her face. Like, it's one thing if you do it in someone's face, then you're not trying to be sneaky. You're not trying to be weird. You're not trying to do anything but take pictures, and you don't feel like there's anything wrong. But let's say that he did in fact take pictures of her house while she was in the bathroom. That to me shows a sign of you're being sneaky. Like, what are you up to? Like, why are you hiding this? You know what I'm saying? So that's just my thing about the pictures in the house. Okay, let's move on from the pictures. He then goes on to talk about how Stephanie wanted to make a documentary about the whole thing with her and Veronica Wang. And pretty much how like months ago in like August, she came to them with she wanted to do a Shane Dawson sit down video where she basically confronted Veronica with like everyone who has issues with her, and wanted to do like a docuseries where she's pretty much just trying to make Veronica understand what she's done wrong, because Veronica Wang has done a lot of things wrong. I think that that's been obvious. I don't watch mukbangs whatsoever, but even I know that Veronica Wang has done some pretty messed up things from what we've seen on the internet, and there's a lot of people who do not like her. So I think that Stephanie was thinking we should do this video. And then Nick pretty much then used that and was like, see, Stephanie, you did want to talk about it. Like, you did want to talk about it. You told me months ago, and you came up to me months ago with this. My issue, and I think that the one thing that's the obvious, thing about this whole situation is that, one, Stephanie Sue wanted to make this video with Veronica. When months later, Nikocado Avocado was like, hey, do you want to talk about Veronica? And Stephanie Sue was like, no, I don't want to talk about Veronica. One, Veronica wasn't there. Stephanie Sue did not come up to Nikocado Avocado in August and was like, let's make an exposing video about Veronica Wang, and she's not there. Veronica Wang was going to be present. It was going to be a collab pretty much with Veronica Wang. That to me was very... The fact that he didn't acknowledge that difference, I guess, was his way of being manipulative in the situation. I think that Stephanie Sue should have mentioned the fact that she talked about that with him, and that might have been why he misunderstood and misread everything in the situation. However, Nikocado Avocado, she didn't want to talk about it without Veronica Wang there. Right? She didn't want to talk about it without Veronica being present, because the video idea that she had was going to have Veronica in it. So that whole argument to me is null. Like, that whole argument, it doesn't make any sense, because the video ideas were not the same. Like, it wasn't the same as just talking about somebody online, on the internet, in a video, in a mukbang. It was like, let's really confront real issues and try to get to a real solution. So I don't think that part, to me, it just did not prove his point, in my opinion. I felt like that wasn't a valid, I don't feel like that was a valid argument. Also, throughout Nikocado Avocado's video, one thing is that he made it seem like Stephanie didn't want people to know that, she had a problem with Veronica. But in Stephanie Sue's video, she was saying, yes, we talked about Veronica. She didn't make it a secret that they talked about Veronica. However, Stephanie was like, no, I don't want to talk about Veronica on camera without Veronica being there. So there's like a difference between those two. And I don't think that Nikocado Avocado, either one, maybe he didn't recognize it, even though I feel like it's a glaring detail that he just kind of overstepped. And then, or maybe he just was trying to manipulate the situation and manipulate the narrative, which again, I can kind of understand because that is human nature, because he's trying to defend himself from these accusations. But at the same time, if you're going to say that Stephanie is leaving things out, don't leave things out, or don't make arguments that could easily be refuted and that you probably know can easily be refuted. But you're just capitalizing off of, well, what if people don't think of that? Like, I don't know. That's just my opinion on that. Another thing that I really disliked about Nick's video that was very different from Stephanie's video is that Nikocado Avocado exposed so many people talking about Stephanie. Like, so many people. And honestly, that was just distasteful because he was like, look, see all of the people that don't like Stephanie, like, see all of these people that also don't like Stephanie. That was one thing. Like, exposing Zach talking about Stephanie behind her back was so low to me because you're just like using other people as ammo. You're using other people's opinions that you have probably swayed by saying certain things. Like, let's not pretend, Nikocado Avocado, that you told everybody the entire situation, because it's clear even in your own video that you did not tell the entire situation. So let's not do that. Let's not do that. And also another thing is that, I'm sorry, I'm just forgetting things. Even though I wrote down notes, I'm forgetting things. Another thing, going back to talking about Veronica, one thing that I really want to mention right now is that people can change their minds in 3 months. Just because somebody was angry about something and wanted to talk about something on camera before doesn't mean that they want to talk about it on camera now. And if she told you right before filming, I don't want to talk about this, that is it. So that does not justify anything. Okay, anyways, back to Nikocado Avocado, showing receipts of other people talking about Stephanie and just trashing her. That to me was very distasteful. And I want to know, I haven't looked it up. Maybe people can tell me in the comment section down below, but was that consensual? Like, did people say, yes, you can show these text messages, show these DMs or whatever? He never said specifically in the video, I got permission from Zach, I got permission from whoever that other YouTuber was, I really don't remember her name. I got permission from them to show these text messages. He didn't have any of that in his video. Like, he didn't say, I had permission to show these text messages. So that could totally just be him exposing people for not liking Stephanie. And maybe they didn't want Stephanie to know that they were talking about her for whatever reason. So I think that was kind of distasteful. And then even if he did have permission, it's like, that's not using other people to corroborate your story. It makes it seem like you're just trying to validate yourself. Like, you're not secure enough with the story that you're telling that you have to try to use other people to corroborate what you feel about somebody. If you're really, like, that's the one thing that Stephanie didn't have. She didn't have a bunch of text messages from other people bashing Nick. Like, she just didn't have that. She was very confident in what she had to say about him, that she didn't need other people to corroborate what she had to say about him. That's pretty much what I'm trying to say with that. I just didn't like that part of it. However, I do have something to say about what Stephanie did in her video, which I did notice, but then Nick talking about it in his video made me really think, okay, was this intentional? Like, what's going on with this? When he started talking about how Stephanie edited her video and how she included those, security camera footage and showed like a dark room and she's crying and some guy is over her. And then the title of the video is why I'm scared of Nikocado Avocado, and she's like crying. It makes it seem like the whole entire situation was something that it was not. She was not assaulted by Nikocado Avocado. And going into it, actually, I remember seeing the security camera footage and nothing else on, just on social media. And my initial thought was, wait, Nikocado Avocado is gay, so I don't understand why he would assault her. I mean, it's very possible. Let's not deny that it's not possible. However, I'm just thinking, like, I don't think that that's what happened. That's one thing that kind of interested me into watching the video. And then when I looked again at the security camera footage in the beginning of her video, I was like, oh, that's not even Nikocado Avocado. That doesn't look like him. That's not him. However, so many people would not know that like if they just start watching, if they see the beginning of her video and they just click off after that, they would not know that he did not assault her, or he didn't try to assault her. It had nothing to do with anything physical. And I very much agreed. I agreed with him on that point. He's saying that it was intentional, that she did this for clicks and did this for views. And basically he was saying that, like, she knows that people are going to click off of a 40-minute video and then just that be it. And they wouldn't watch the entire video, so they would have this one perception of him because she didn't mention things until like halfway through the video, and how her video was so long. Even though, Nikocado Avocado, your video was literally twice as long as hers. So let's not talk about long videos, sir. Your video was very long itself. But he was trying to say all of these things, and my thing is just that I feel like Stephanie was trying to pile it on. I think that Stephanie was a bit insecure about why she herself was scared of him, or maybe she was insecure about how people would perceive her perception of Nikocado Avocado. So like people would be like, that's not a valid reason to be scared of him. So she had to pile it on. I think that that's what she was doing, especially when she started including clips of that story time that he had and he refuted it and all that. I'm not even going to get into the story time because that really has nothing to do with the situation, because quite frankly, Stephanie Sue, he's not going to assault you. I think you understand that. And I think that if she had just said, I'm scared that he's going to blackmail me, people would have been like, well, why does he need to blackmail you? So she had to tack on all of this dramatic stuff to make it seem like she has really, really valid reasons to be afraid of him. However, in my personal opinion, I feel like it's a valid reason to be afraid that someone's going to blackmail you, especially when you told them things in confidence. Because whether Nikocado Avocado wants to admit it or not, he knows that she told him things in confidence. And so I feel like she had a valid reason to be scared that he was going to expose those things, especially when he was taking pictures in her house. Like, she doesn't know what he's going to do with that. Like, she doesn't know how he's going to twist narratives or anything like that. So with all of that together, she's thinking in her head, he's going to expose me for something, I don't know what, but this guy is obsessed with drama, which he even said in his video like multiple times that, he likes the drama. He likes to be in the drama. But I think that her whole mindset with all of the dramatic editing, especially in the beginning of her video, was like, I want to keep you guys thinking a certain way until I get to my valid reason for being afraid of him. I don't know if that makes sense, but at least it makes sense in my head, but I suck at talking sometimes. So it might not make sense to you, but I think that she was trying to have an attention grabber to make people listen to her story. That's what I'm trying to get at. Like, she just wanted people to listen to her. So that's what I think about that. But I do think that it's very manipulative. I'm not going to lie. That was very manipulative. And I kind of caught it when I first watched her initial video. But when he talked about it, I definitely agreed with him on that situation. However, what I didn't like about Nikocado Avocado's video is the fact that he continued to make himself a victim. He continued to make himself a victim, like, throughout that entire, weekend. He tried to make himself out to be a victim in all of that. And then he tried to make himself out to be a victim in just this entire situation. My problem is that Nikocado Avocado, you intentionally started bullying her. Like, you really did. It's like posting those Instagram stories, you knew what you were doing. And then saying that you're going to expose her, whether you want to admit it or not, you were actively pretty much bullying her. You were pretty much threatening her over the internet. So let's not act like you're a victim. Like, let's not act like she had no reason to make this video. He's making it seem like she had no reason to make this video, and that is where I'm like, don't lie, dude. Because she had valid reasons to make that video. And I think one thing also that he didn't want to talk about was the fact, and one thing that I think he straight up lied about, is if he kept saying, I didn't know about her assault thing. I didn't know that she would be triggered. I didn't know about her assault thing. Dude, come on. Now that's a he said, she said thing, but I highly doubt that she didn't talk to him about that. Especially because of all of the conversations that they had, especially because he said she talked on and on about Veronica and all this stuff. So she talked on and on to you. She trusted you enough. I feel like she trusted you enough to talk about that assault thing. I could be totally wrong. Maybe she did lie about him knowing about that. But I don't feel like she would lie about something like that, especially given what he admitted about her talking about Veronica a bunch. Like, you're not going to just talk about someone you hate with someone you don't trust. You get what I'm saying? So, like, I feel like she trusted him enough to talk about her assault. I do. And I don't feel like she would just straight up lie about someone knowing about something that serious. I mean, maybe because it could help her story, but I don't feel like she would just lie about something like that. Another he said, she said thing was the whole him illegally recording her or recording her without her knowledge. That is so he said, she said, because one, if she's lying about it, then there is no evidence to prove it. So it's just like, I said that he recorded me, but he doesn't have evidence. You can't prove that you didn't do something. You know what I'm saying? Because you just don't have the evidence at all because you didn't do it. But you don't, someone would have to physically go through your phone to prove that you did do something. And then for him, it's like, okay, I could lie about not recording her, but since I know that she could sue me if I do put this evidence out, you get what I'm saying? There's just so much of he said, she said with this whole situation in regards to the recording with the pictures. It's like, dude, no, you can't just believe Nikocado Avocado either. He keeps saying, since now that we've established that she lied, we can't believe you either. If you want us to not believe her, we can't believe you. So that was my whole thing about that. Another thing that he kept saying throughout the video was that she's self-serving and everything like that. And my thing is maybe Nikocado Avocado, maybe Stephanie Sue is just not doing what you want her to do. You continuously saying that she's self-serving, or maybe she's self-preserving, or maybe she's protecting herself, or you know what I'm saying? He keeps saying well, she just uses people and she does this. Nikocado Avocado, don't you use people though? Come on, let's call a spade a spade. You use the whole Trisha Paytas situation to boost you, because a lot of people didn't know who you were until that Trisha Paytas situation. So let's not pretend like you don't use people. He keeps calling her self-serving, but sir, you kind of are self-serving too. He was also talking about how she had her merch in the video and how she's making money off of the video and how she's just capitalizing off of it. Do you know how many ads you had in that video? If you go back to the screenshot that I have of his video and you look at all of the yellow lines in that video, there were a bunch of ads. If you're talking about someone monetizing, making money off the situation, then why are you doing the exact same thing? You cannot be that hypocritical in a video that you're calling someone out in. He was being extremely hypocritical, and I didn't like that. If he had called out Stephanie Sue for making money off of the video and he didn't have it monetized, I would have nothing to say about that, because quite frankly, I do think that that's a good point. But when you then monetize that video the way that he did, it's obviously he's trying to make money off of the situation as well. So Nikocado Avocado, I don't want to hear about it with that. That was just come on, dude. He then talked about how she's viewing everything, she's viewing everybody's stories and she keeps watching everybody's stories, and just he kept acting as if she's stalking him. He was like, you can't just make, you can't make it seem like I was doing this to you, but yet you're making it seem like she's stalking you, or that she's keeping tabs on you, or that she's being creepy. Like, you're doing kind of the same thing that she was doing, that you're accusing of her to do, and you're making it seem like she was so bad to do it. Nikocado Avocado, a reasonable explanation for why she's doing everything is because you haven't talked about it in a week. You haven't said anything really in a week. So she's trying to see if you're going to say anything. She's trying to see what you're going to say about the situation, because she knows, like, a lot of people are viewing your stuff to see what the next thing you're going to say. I've been checking his Twitter a little bit, and I don't follow this dude. Like, I don't watch him. So that whole thing is just nuts. But I do have to say that her still following him, because his page is private, so how is she going to watch his stories? That's one thing that I just remembered right now. So that is kind of weird. I do have to give him that. However, I do think that she just still wants to kind of see what his response will be. And he didn't address why she had a breakdown. Like, he was just saying, oh, like, she had this breakdown and she was talking about it and everything, but he didn't address why she had the breakdown. He didn't address the fact that he was the reason for her breakdown. Like, he didn't address that. He didn't say, I'm sorry that I was the reason for your breakdown. I didn't know that I hurt you in that way. He didn't even say, like, I don't feel like I was the reason for that breakdown because I don't feel like I acted any. He didn't even address it. So in my mind, I'm thinking, you didn't address it because you knew that you were at fault in that situation. He didn't address a lot with just what she actually said in the video. He kind of just used a lot of things to make context for the situation that happened, but I feel like he didn't address a lot of things that actually happened that in that situation itself. I understand a little bit better, and honestly, I kind of understood even watching Stephanie's video as to why he was upset about, her saying that she was in and out of sleep. But from his perspective, if he doesn't know that you're having a breakdown, Stephanie, then you can't be mad about his reaction to, like, you saying, I've just been in and out of sleep. Like, I can understand when he was like, that just to me, it seems like laziness, seems like you just don't want to do it. I understood that. I understood where he was coming from. So I think with Stephanie, it's like, dude, you kind of don't, you need to have better communication skills, especially if you're going to then make a video about the whole situation. You should have communicated with him better in the first place. However, she might not have felt that she could communicate with him. Also, I feel like it was kind of a jerk move to offer an apology to everyone but Stephanie, just because he's not really, he sort of tried to take a little bit of accountability at the end by saying, like, that was dumb and this was dumb, but, like, you could have just easily apologized because you know that she's hurt. And also, she apologized to you, like, multiple times. She showed the text messages where she apologized to you for blowing you off. And so you couldn't have the decency to apologize to her for making her feel a certain type of way. I feel like maybe he doesn't feel like he did anything wrong, but acknowledging that you did something wrong but then not apologizing is kind of a wrong move, in my opinion, kind of a jerk move. And apologizing to everyone but Stephanie is also a jerk move, because at the end of the day, if you hadn't done this to Stephanie, if you hadn't basically threatened to expose her and blackmail her, none of this would have happened. So I feel like that was a really jerk move. And overall, I feel like this boils down to Nikocado Avocado wanted some more drama to ensue. He wanted more tea to spill. And so he thought, yes, Stephanie's on board with me. She wanted to make this documentary, so she's cool with talking about the situation. And then when she said, oh, wait, I'm not cool with talking about this anymore, he got upset. And over the course of the weekend, she got more and more uncomfortable. And then she didn't know how to communicate the fact that she was uncomfortable. She didn't want to communicate that. He was like, I'm going to expose you for canceling. And then she's just like, I just need to beat him to the punch. I need to make a video about this, or else he's going to expose me for who knows what. But she's already paranoid because she took pictures in her house and she thinks that you recorded her illegally. And then you go on and you make jokes about her, and she's just getting more and more frustrated with the whole situation. And she's having breakdowns and everything like that. And so she decides to make her video where she leaves things out, and she does probably try to manipulate the story a little bit to make her seem better. But at the end of the day, Nikocado Avocado, you don't seem innocent. Like he like made everything seem like he was innocent except for the in and out of sleep thing. And even that he tried to make himself seem innocent because she's capitalizing off of it, which is basically just her taking her power back. So at the end of the day, I feel like Nikocado Avocado is more wrong in the situation because of just everything that he did. I feel like in his video, while he was trying to call out Stephanie, he was also showing that he's a hypocrite because of all the things that he did and that he said in his own video, which I suggest that you watch. I suggest that you watch both videos and come to your own conclusions because, to be quite honest, this isn't so cut and dry, and so everyone can kind of have different opinions on the entire situation and be totally valid in what they feel about the entire situation. However, in my personal opinion, I feel like Nikocado Avocado is still trying to spin the narrative, is still trying to manipulate the entire situation, is still trying to, just kind of throw jabs and do a lot of things to Stephanie Sue. And even though he talked about, I don't want to bully you, he then like exposes people just talking about her like she's a dog. So I didn't feel like that was right. And I feel like Stephanie Sue did manipulate the narrative at least a little bit, especially with how she edited her video. But that's just what I feel about the situation. There's so much that I probably didn't even cover. I tried to cover a lot, but this video is long enough. And to be quite honest, these videos are all long and the situation is so drawn out, and I don't know if I'm going to talk about the situation again. There might be more developments, but hopefully I can just leave it here and that this just be it, and that they can just kind of agree to disagree or like agree to just coexist. I don't know. But it's just kind of exhausting to like hear about the situation and to watch hours of footage about this. It's a lot. But yeah, that's just what I have to say about the entire situation with Stephanie Sue and Nikocado Avocado. Anyways, guys, that is it for this video. Go ahead and enjoy this obligatory Tom Holland picture as I close out this video. But thank you so much for watching. I hope you understood everything that I was trying to say in this video. There was so much that each of them talked about. And so again, as I said before, I just suggest that you go ahead and formulate your own opinion. This is just my personal opinion on the entire situation. I suggest that you watch both videos probably at like double speed or something. And, formulate your own opinion if you care that much about the situation. But thank you so much for listening to what I have to say and everything like that. If you did enjoy this video, please go ahead and give it a big thumbs up. Go ahead and comment down below what you think of the entire situation. What do you think of what I had to say? What points do you think are valid? Just anything that you have to say, go ahead and comment that down below. And please do subscribe to my channel. And just thank you so much for being here. And yeah, I will see you in my next video. Oh, I think that this might be my last video of 2019. So yeah, it might be. Who knows? We'll see. This is a horrible way to end. Oh well, thank you so much for being here, and I'll maybe see you in 2020, who knows? But yeah, hope you guys have a great new year, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye!